because they said Trump's going to come in, he's going to kill migrants, he's going to use the military, he's going to be a dictator.
Fly Mackey here with Smart Money Culture TV.
Oh, and it is so.
Fly Mackey here with Smart Money Culture TV. Glad to have you with us tonight. Sunday evening, January the 26th. Okay.
If Holman doesn't take the first bait and go into
the Alex Jones. We're going to play a little news, going to do some clips here. Glad to be with you tonight.
Burning things.
Look for us and going live in Washington, D.C. here shortly. And oh, wow. When I say that, can you believe we get to do this stuff?
If we expose it enough, we take that card away from the bad guys. We'll be right back. Share the live link now from Real Alex Jones. Like official. What dramatic footage. And they go, oh, be nice, be sweet, don't deport anybody. So the move is false flag attacks. They've already said Trump's going to do it, as if Homan and Trump are going to go shoot a bunch of demonstrators. What? And then destroy their political power? And they don't want to just kill random people. It's total horse crap. But they keep saying it because that's their excuse, and they'll do it sooner rather than later. I mean, they used cases before like Trayvon Martin and then George Floyd to burn down half the country. They said they're going to have national uprisings and drive Trump from power when he kills the migrants or when he kills the black people. And what did Carville and others say? If Trump wins, we got to have a new 1776. Black men know, former ex-cons and people that don't know they're in a Fed-run group. They've got intelligence operatives, NGOs.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a long time. All these guys that come in here, these are all feds, every one of them. Our sources have been telling us that for 5 years.
With no license plates on them.
Even when Trump was in office, these guys, they would come up all feds.
Around states and areas and march
It'll all come out. You watch.
Say, oh my God, Nazis are here.
We've been right on a lot of information on our sources. Smart Money Culture. We have a lot of great sources. We had them back from our radio days. We definitely have them today.
People see them all over the place.
Our sources hasn't changed. They've only gotten better.
That'll be set up. Maybe it really will be a mentally ill member that they're able to, some groups, the feds are able to manipulate, or some group of feds into staging an attack that ran the attack. They love to brag to their friends and be able to see and just, hey, read my book. Hey, notice, yeah, it's a thing they do. And it just goes on and on and on and on. So if you are an idiot in one of these groups, it's not just the Patriot Front, there's a bunch of them. And remember, you heard Pelosi say it, and you heard Maxine Waters about a year ago. They were like, again, 6 months ago, they go, when Trump gets in or if he loses, he's got all these right-wingers training at bases in the woods all over the country in Michigan and Georgia and Texas. And that's because they've got these federal training camps where they think it's a white supremacist base, and they find mentally ill people and they live there, and that they're being led by psychological warfare experts to get them ready for this. And again, when they actually go out to do the attack, they might think it's one thing they're going to do, and then they just shoot them in the back of the head in the van up in the parking garage in Denver or Chicago, someplace like that, or LA. And then here comes the big migrant demonstration, 5,000 people, and then they just pop up, bzz, 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 into the crowd, put the rifle down. It's already got the dead guy's fingerprints on it, and they leave. And then they say, oh, a SWAT team officer took him out. Or he committed suicide after he did it. And they found out he's a Trump supporter.
You see,
guaranteed. It's already ready. It's already ready to go.
You see, this is exactly, by the way, Alex Jones is spot on 99% of the time. This is exactly what they tried to get him for because he exposes through his sources exactly what's going to happen. And then it happens, and they're like, how do you know this was going to happen like this? But this is what the legacy media, this is what the left does, this is what the right does. So you got to be careful, because a lot on both sides this is happening. President Trump, luckily, well, I think it was a blessing in disguise that the second election was taken from him, because we'd have never known this. They would have just hammered him, and he had got out of office, and of course he'd have been in court for decades and stuff until they, until he died, and then they'd have gone after his kids, and but instead, he fought through. They took the election. Let's just say Biden did win, and he got 81 million votes, even though nobody's been able to find the 20 million votes. To this day, they have no clue where those 20 million votes are. They're unaccounted for. I'm not trying to go back and talk, but these are facts, and facts don't care about our feelings when it comes to journalism. It is what it is. But anyway, to move forward, now, he had 4 years to see really what it was about. And he's smarter, just a lot smarter than he was this time. And he's more experienced and seasoned, so he knows what's going on. Anyway, it's very exciting times to be living. It's very exciting time to be living in America today. And I think even in the world, especially when President Trump just pulled out of the World Health Organization. He took away all the security clearances for these guys, these spies, the 51 spies. He took Brennan's away, and he took Fauci's away. $12 million a month. They were spending on Fauci's security. Isn't that something? It was insane. But anyway, let them. And what President Trump said is by let them pay for their own security. They made millions of dollars. But here in this clip here, where Alex Jones is talking about exactly how the setup works. They set it up. Just what you're going to find out too. This is why that story about that bomber at Trump Tower International there in Las Vegas. Notice how that story went away. We don't know it now, but there's going to be a time where we'll know the real details behind that, being special what they call black ops. And this is where the accountability doesn't come in, because hundreds of millions, billions and billions and billions, and probably trillions of dollars have been sent there through the Pentagon for these black operations, and a lot of it's on America. They're doing it to us, and we're going to find all this out. It's going to come out. Anyway, let's listen to a little bit more of this. We're going to talk a little bit about crypto here in just a second. Y'all hold tight. Hold on a second. Let's look at it now. You see Bitcoin tracking at $100,000 right this second. Ooh, it looks like we may pop. We may pop below 100 grand. By the way, this is not a big deal, in my opinion. We've been charting this for quite a while. Well, forever. We've been charting it forever. This is the lane that it's been traveling in right here. This is a 4-hour chart right here. Let's just forget this line. I'm not going to take this line away. You'll see why later, those of you who are following. But you see here, it just went from in the last 12 hours, it's gone from $105,023 down to right at $100,586. It's $100,757 as we speak right this second. So this is really cool watching this. When I draw these right here, these charts, this is a lane that the coin has been traveling in. And this, by the way, this was based on a daily chart, not a 4-hour chart. So, but I don't want to erase that. We're going to leave it. We're going to leave it as it is right now. But you can see here the volume. Trading volume for the day, $53 billion in the last 24 hours. And it's traded about, the market cap on Bitcoin is $2.03 trillion. No, $2.03 trillion. See that 2 over here? If you can see over here, over by my head where it says day 4, right over here, the bottom. You see that 2 point, you see that? there, that 2.3T, that's 2 trillion. And then the next one runs into the billions. And so that's not 100 billion, but 30 billion. So 2 trillion, 30 billion is the market cap. If it breaks under 100 grand, that may go away, or the 2 trillion mark may go away. This is exciting news. It's just very exciting what's going on with crypto. We've been charting this sucker for a long time. This is the 4-hour right here chart. Of course, so it could come all the way down here to like 95,000 and just pop right back up. Let's see what happens. Let's take a look at let's take a look at XRP, and then we're going to get back to some more news. Wow, that looks delicious. I'm watching a cooking show. That's on a 1 week. Let's change this. Let's change this to a daily chart here. You guys get a chance. You can tune in to Christopher Inks at West Texas Capital. He is a world-class technical analyst, father, Texan, but world-class. I mean, world-class. He's the one who taught me in Amber back in the day. And I'm telling you, just world-class at what he does, and of course, for TV purposes, we're always putting this out there so you can just see. But we always try to show you, I always try to show you the basics of what a chart would look like, of where the coin may or may not be going. And instead of buying the news, I got a buddy who, and I know quite a few people, they buy the news. So whatever the news is, they're like, hey, I think it's going to do this because so-and-so said so, and, people have their strategies, that's for sure. But here's a basic. Let's look at XRP here real quick. Trading at $2.98. Oh, it dipped under $3 here. Yeah, you see this lane here has been traveling in. I'm going to leave that right there, but this is a 1-day chart. I'm just going to play around with this a little bit. You guys can kind of watch if you want. Well, so here's the line. You take this down here where it started ascending, and you try to get your ideas here. So this isn't right here how the professionals would do it, but you get your own technique. So here's the line here where it ascended up, and then it started descending down. It's been traveling in this lane right here. Right there. It's been traveling in this lane right here. and then it came under here. But once again, so you see it as it came down, and then it came back up, and then it hit this mountain right here, even though it came back down again, and then it hit the bottom of these mountains right here, but this is the direction it's going. And you can see here where that kind of it follows similar to the path that I have here. I won't get into this discussion here today, but this is a back in January of on the 8th, so this is 18 days ago or so. Yeah, 18 days, or give or take, where I put this line in right here, because this is where I was expecting it to head about this time right here. So I took the charting that I was doing, and then I put the line in right here, so you could see kind of where I thought it was going to be going based on my charting. And you see that right there, and we're heading. So once this comes back down here to this line, let's see if it's going to pop back up through here and go up this line right here or not. It looks like XRP. I mean, I have XRP down to right about $11,700 by September. So I mean, it could go there way faster than that. I mean, this I'm just saying it could go there a lot quicker than that. But who knows? Who knows? I'm going to leave that there. Let's get back to some more. By the way, you're watching the Fly Mackey Show here on Smart Money Culture Television. I'm your host this evening, Fly Mackey. Good to be with you. My mom would say, itty bitty, get it right. I'm like, okay, Mama. Her and Dad's up there in heaven right now. They were good parents. I'm telling you. The best. They adopted me. Anyway, we're working the business here. Let's keep going. Let's see a little bit more news here. Okay. So, by the way, I like to do stories. By the way, we do Reuters and C-SPAN. You get a lot of good news from there, where, it's more, I don't know how you can say it. That's where all the news agencies, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, are getting their stories from Reuters and C-SPAN. And then, of course, they have their own reporters. Where they have their own reporters is where the slant comes from, where they start giving their bias. And you see what happened to MSNBC. I mean, they lost 70 of their viewership. 70, which is wow. CNN also, huge losses. The president of MSNBC, I can't remember her name, but she just resigned today. She's retiring today, or it was either that or she was going to get fired. But and it's all good. This is just the way, it's the cycling of the business. You're going to go where you have cycles where the liberal, or that trend, or whatever that trend is going to go through the roof. And then you're going to have times where it goes down, and nobody wants to hear that. So I can tell you now that I think the American people have spoken, that they want change in the news. That's why you've had such great drops in viewership with legacy media, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, the big boys and the big girls. And you get a lot of people like the podcasters who are really, you get a lot of good news there. It's just as good. So just know this, America, you as an individual, you as a human being, as an American citizen, you have the right. You're a journalist. You are the journalist. You're better. You're just as good as anybody else out there on TV. Just because it's on TV, don't make them good. All right, I went with my rant and rave. He's talking about militias. just like I was talking about today, they were asking about who are all, everybody was people want to say it, but they're afraid to say it because they're afraid that the government's going to come down on them. But the last couple of days, you see these guys in masks wearing these, blue and white beige pants, with these hats with flags on them. So they look like they're all loyal to America, but they have all these masks on. I mean, the first thing that we reported from our sources from DC was that these guys were feds. And we said that January 6th, that we believe that there was thousands there. There was, 500,000 or million people that showed up to listen to Trump. But we said there was thousands of feds there because we were told that there was FBI and other agency members or employees there undercover acting like Trump supporters. Anyway, and now we know that at least 126 were FBI agents. Isn't that something? Anyway, facts don't care about our feelings. Let's get back to some more news. Let's look at some more stuff and see what else is going on. There's Miss Obama, Miss Sasha Obama. Oh, she's not depressed. She's a young woman, going to college and stuff. She's like anybody else. Y'all leave that girl alone. Come on, man. Yeah. You see this? Colombian president sends presidential plane to pick up their people. Oh. Gotta love it. Yeah, this is our plane, not Colombians. But he did say that they were taking them, and they did. Now, this I don't get. You guys have to help me with this. I don't get this. Hold on a second. Hold on. This I don't get. So Al Sharpton and all his people, they're not asking to come into Costco. They just coming into Costco. They're not even members. They're probably not even members. They're not there to buy because you can't buy. What a joke that guy's turned out to be. Anyway, I'm not mad at Al Sharpton. I don't call him a pastor because he ain't. I've never seen him with a Bible. I'm sure he's perfectly an okay fella. So here's Dr. Phil embedded with Tom Holman as they go do ICE raids and stuff like that. Yeah, these are all paid agitators. They're all paid to do this because the average, listen, I know a lot of guys. I have relatives from Mexico. The average Mexican is not going to stand out there because number one, we're smart people. These people are idiots. They're paid to do this. They're agitators. Come on, man. What person in their right mind, except for somebody who's mentally ill, stand out there like that? Come on, cut it out. It is what it is, though. And what's the worst part is they bring their little kids with them. If you're a parent and you take your little kids there like that, you're the scum of the earth as a parent. In my opinion, you're a scum. Putting your kids in harm's way like that, you're a scum. Then you have to take the other side and go, well, no, they're concerned parents. It's all going to play out. Okay. Let's see what happens. Interesting story, that's for sure. I don't want to see that stuff. Yeah, that was a pretty good story. That guy just went crazy. That was an interesting statement he made. That was when Bitcoin was $12,000. It's the value of Bitcoin can never be negative. That's a smart old guy, I can tell you that. He made a lot, I think, a lot of bad decisions for the Federal Reserve. If you had a batting average, his batting average would be in the low, under 100 as a batting average. But he, I think, was a smart, wise guy. I don't know. I'm not educated enough to give a good opinion on that. But I think most of the Fed chairs are pretty stupid. The average person is smarter than they are. Oh, here's a feel-good story here. Horses are amazing. You saw that. They put the ball. What's the lesson behind this?
And then what is this? That one rep. The biggest hose job I've ever fucking seen. First of all, the
Sorry
third
for the
and three
cussing.
play. This spot is disgusting. Knees not down. That's a first down. So that spot off. That's a bad spot right there by I don't know, half a yard right there. And then we're gonna go for it on fourth down.
We have to be careful of the language. We're on broadcast TV. He obviously made the first down, but no, they're going to push him back. And where are they going to put the ball marker? Yeah. Okay. Interesting there. Yeah, these guys are getting ousted on these committees because they're liars. They're deceiving the country. They're traitors. You have people that have been on these committees that have been committing treason to the United States. By the way, I'm not mad at any of them. But the American people have spoken. You know, President Trump won 300 plus electoral votes. He really won about 7 million of the popular vote more than the other guy, but lady. But of course, all these votes came in from these blue states from wherever. I mean, millions of votes came in. If they would have if they had their way, millions of votes would have come in from these other states too. But where they had voter ID, they stopped it. It's amazing how she only won where they didn't have, on the states where they didn't have voter ID. Isn't that something? We're not mad at them, but things have changed. So, yeah, American people like McConnell, Mitch McConnell, who is a senator from Kentucky, voted 66.7%. 66.8% of the Kentucky population voted for President Trump. And he's voting against President Trump's nominees and standing with the, why? What you're going to find out is that him, the one-eyed bandit from Texas, and several other Republicans have been getting kickbacks. They're going to find out from all that, the billions and billions of dollars that has gone to Ukraine. You watch. There's politicians from both sides. And by the way, I'm not a fan of AOC. I think she's dumber than a box of rocks. The reason I say that is because I have a box of rocks and they're not very smart. And I think she's similar to that. But then she does something like with these, she's made lots of interviews lately. And I agree with her 100% how her fellow politicians are getting rich from inside trading. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea of what I'm saying about. I'm not a fan of hers, of her politics, but she's young, and the millennials are not stupid. They're smart. We call them stupid all the time. They're not stupid at all. Smart people. And you got the Gen Zs who are the ones who put Trump over. By the way, they say that was a 30% swing from the voters who voted for Trump. No, that was a 60%. It's called a paradigm swing, and they talk about it in finance all the time. They don't teach it very often because it's confusing to most people. But if you're down 30%, okay, and it comes up to even, you gained the 30%. And then when it goes up 30% over, that's a 60% swing. Not 30, 60. You were 30 down, come up to 0, 30 above, 30 plus 30 is 60. That was a 60% swing, but they'll never tell you this because it confuses people. It was a 63 or so percent swing in the vote from 18 to 28 who were able to vote for the president. That was a 60% swing in the youth vote that voted for Trump. 60. It's amazing. This guy's a dweeb. Of course, I say that. Listen, you guys don't get offended. I say that about I say it about myself, for goodness sakes. I say it about them all. Republicans and Democrats, I think the Republicans are just as stupid. Anyway, you're going to get their act together because we have a president that's done more in his first 100 hours. It's going to be incredible. Let's see what happens. Let's go along for the ride. By the way, Fly Mackey here with Smart Money Culture Television. I'm your host of the Fly Mackey Show, broadcasting live in the great state of Texas, Louisiana, Florida, coming soon to Washington, D.C. I'm playing right through the commercial breaks. I don't know if they're playing commercial breaks right now, or I don't even know if we're live on TV. I'm streaming. I know I'm streaming. Let's see if we're doing live on TV. Or if they got something else playing. I think we should go live on TV. You want to go live on TV for about 12 minutes? Hold on. We're going to go live. Right now, they're playing commercials. 2 minutes worth of commercials, I'm guessing. Let's go live. Here's my dog snoring over here. We're going to go live here in the great state of Texas, Louisiana, Florida, coming soon to Washington, D.C. You ready to go live? Yep, let's do it. Y'all hang tight with me. And hello, Texas. Don't turn that dial. This is the Fly Mackey Show. I'm your host, Fly Mackey. Good to be with you tonight. You can call me David, too. Amber calls me Dick. I'll go by any one of those three names. Mom and Dad, my mom used to call me Itty Bitty. I'm not going to tell you what my dad used to call me. Oh, boy. It's good to be here with you tonight. Broadcasting live out of the great state of Texas. Good to be here with you tonight in Houston, Texas. And there you go. We had ice in downtown. Anyway, it's insane. All this is man-made weather. You're going to find out. A lot of this is man-made weather. These things that used to be conspiracies. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, hello, Texas, Louisiana, and Florida. Great to be with you. We're soon to be live in the great city of Washington, D.C. Metro. Yeah, we're scaling, and we have a new channel coming up, and it's going to be very exciting. Very exciting. So we're going to have lots of ads that we're playing. We're finally, by the way, those of you who know who we are, we didn't play any ads, and we've been self-funded for the last year or so with partners' monies and things like that. And this, we just now starting to run television ads, just like all other television networks. So we're very excited about finally monetizing so that we can, pay the bills here, the operations, they say, so that we can grow the business. We're very excited about it. So when you see these commercials come on, it is what it is. Hold on one second. You probably won't see any commercials in the next 8 minutes because I'm going to just talk for about another 8 minutes. And then we're going to cut up the live feed. Yeah. You see here where all these trees are that didn't get burned up. Same thing. These were all burned up by lasers. The majority of these houses were blown, were burnt up through lasers. So as the fires came through, what's funny is look at all these trees. There's tons and tons of trees in here that didn't get burned up. I'm not going to go too far down that rabbit trail. President Trump didn't go down that rabbit trail. And yeah. So I'm not going to go down it, but we might soon. I don't care. Who cares who the president of Colombia is going out with? Leave people alone. We're going to get back to some Bitcoin here in just a second. Yeah, you normally go through that. Yeah, checkpoints, they've cut all the checkpoints out. Now they got the checkpoints going again. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this lady, what a joke. She's been around for a long time. I wish she'd get her act together. She used to be a great journalist. All right, let's look at a little bit more Bitcoin, okay? Let's see what's going on. So look at this right here. Bitcoin trading right now at $100,288, and it's about to crack that. So probably you may be looking at, I don't want to get, let's see here. I don't want to mess with these charts too much. This is a 4-hour chart right here, but this is where it's kind of the trajectory of it for the last day. That's a daily from there to today right now. Probably this is the all-time high, where I was at about 109,000. Right there. That would probably be the more cleaner chart right there. Line right there. I mean, there's a lot of guys and gals. There's a lot of support right in here. A lot of buying and selling went on, you know, in the last day. A lot of buying, billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of buying. You know, hundreds of billions of dollars have been traded, bought and sold here. So there's a lot of support, but it's breaking through that support. You see that line right here. Here's that line all the way across here. When you're charting, don't be afraid to break these things down. Break it out a little bit. See that? That way you get a more clear picture. We haven't quite broke under 100,000. Looks like the low is $100,216. So it's just above that. We've got about 3 more minutes left here. That's where that is right there. So it's broke. Here's this lane right here. Not a lane that is traveled in very much, but this is the descending lane here as it started making its all-time highs at $103,000, $104,000, $103,000, and then when it hit the $108,000, $109,000. So there you go there, and it's been descending ever since. So let's see where this is going. It's broke down below this barrier right here. Let's see where this is going to go. And this is going to get interesting. Of course, you know, if you're not bullish on Bitcoin, everyone's bullish on Bitcoin. Everyone's bullish on Bitcoin. I don't know anybody. There's not an analyst out there that I know who's not bullish on Bitcoin. So I don't think it's wise to buy the news, so to speak. But, you know, you got people like Larry Fink, who said that they see Bitcoin and some other, really rich people. I don't think there's anybody as rich as Larry Fink, tell you the truth. I mean, there's a lot of rich people, right? But Blackwater, State Street, Vanguard combined with Black Top, between them and State Street, umbrellaing each other at the top, they own a third of the world. And on any given day, this is fact, 25% of all currency that trades hands in the world belongs to BlackRock. Wow. Okay. For those of you watching us in the great state of Texas, Louisiana, Florida, we're gonna cut the broadcast feed and go back to regular programming. We got about 2 minutes. See, the clock between us and Florida for some reason. Anyway, we're gonna call it a night. We may come back live here shortly, but right now we're gonna go back to regular programming. You've been watching the Fly Mackey Show, and I'm your host, Fly Mackey. Y'all have a great night. Y'all stay with me here, those of you watching online. We have like very little presence on social media, but our website, we're 200 or 300 people watching. So excited to have you. We have a few hundred. Hold tight, guys and gals. And back to streaming, back to regular programming. Oh, Dennis Price shows coming up. I just got off the air. Your show's fixing to go live. And those of you watching live from the great state of Texas, well, of course, you can't see us now because we're off the air, but Dennis Price and his new show's fixing to go live. He's doing his pilot show, which is really exciting. We have Stephen Nagy and Christopher Noggle coming on soon, and some other really great hosts coming on. We're very excited what's fixing to happen. Fixing to start broadcasting live in Washington, D.C. And I know it's insane. Who would think that a fat little Indian, by the way, I was talking with some guy today and he goes, I was talking about Mexicans. He goes, you can't do that. And I go, oh yeah, I can. I'm Mexican. I'm native. And I got some other stuff in me too we're not going to talk about. But oh yeah, you got to lighten up a little bit. You listen, if you get your underwear all wadded up over a joke, you got problems, and it's on you, not somebody else. Leave people alone. Anyway, and here's Dennis Price. Oh, there he is right there. Hi, Dennis. Hold on, guys and gals.
So today I'd like to go into a little more depth into some things I learned from
He's just sitting on
one of the
couch
most profound
talking.
humans I got a chance to spend time with on the planet, Sun Bear. I
Who was the medicine man?
believe
And I
he was
think a
from
chief.
Minnesota originally, with the native nation there, and then they moved across west as the white man came around. I think they were some of the only Native American Indians that didn't war with the white man, if I remember it right. And interestingly, he had a varied background. I think he only had a 3rd or 4th grade education, but probably the wisest and most profound human I spent time with. When Sun Bear talked, I just like, zip it, Dennis, just shut up and listen, because this is good stuff. And I'll give you some examples throughout today. But man, I was thinking back on it, and this guy, I don't know where he got it, but he had something going on. So I love nature. I mentioned that in the, if you heard the intro talk, the very first sort of episode that I did explaining what this is.
This is from the TV.
I love being in nature. As a kid, I loved just
TV.
When I was in Chicago, when I was
that's Houston,
old enough to run around, whatever that is, 4 or 5, whatever. And back then,
Corpus Christi,
parents just
College
went out,
Station,
go out
Beaumont,
in the backyard and
Charles
play in the
Davis,
sandbox. It
Tallahassee,
wasn't fenced
Florida.
in and stuff. We didn't have so much
come in the next few days, Washington D.C.
worry about kids running around. The neighborhood was safe.
You look good.
And so I'd be creative in the sandbox, and we'd come in for dinner.
I'm just doing a video.
Then we'd play Cowboys and Indians. I was the only one that wanted to be an Indian.
And
I
I'm
just
gonna
thought it was
post
cool to have a bow and arrow and to live in the woods, and that would be the coolest thing.
Let's listen.
And other kids would make fun of me. They go, "Why do you want to be the Indian? They're the ones that always get shot. I got the rifle. I'm taking down them Indians." And of course, we were kids, and there were cowboy shows on TV, and the cowboys were the heroes, right? And that was on Gunsmoke, and some of those things were on TV back then when I was a kid. And so it was interesting that I was the only one that wanted to be an Indian. And so now I think back and I go, man, I had an affinity for some of this stuff. So when I got out of college, I was looking for things, and I saw this program called Outward Bound, and I did that. And I'm sure I'll do
I know that one.
A number of these episodes just on Outward Bound, because it's so profound, some of the great teachings. But from there, how I got to Sun Bear was I ended up, one of the instructors from Outward Bound, they were all amazing people. They read books. They were like all mini philosophers. Some of them I didn't agree with their philosophy, but they were all thinkers. They were cool people that were, just live in the woods and think about stuff instead of being busy rushing to do things.
You look great on TV too, by the way.
We were human beings instead of human doings. And so one of them gave me a book by a guy named Tom Brown called The Tracker, tracking animals and how he knew the woods. He knew nature. He knew how to live in it and be part of that. And so I thought, man, this is pretty cool stuff. So I got the book. I was reading the book from Tom Brown. And so when I finished some courses, we would do a 4-week expedition with canoes, and then we'd have a week off to do our laundry, have a party, do some things. People would go to the Twin Cities. We'd resupply the trips house from our trips, and other trips were going on in and out too. And then some people would go to the Twin Cities and carouse and do stuff. And I had another direction I went during my free time for a few days, and I'll tell you about that too. Trapping bears with Julie, or working with the Wolf Project in the forestry department there. But after I got through with Outward Bound that season, I didn't stay for the dog sledding for the winter programs, and I went back and I went to New Jersey and I signed up for one of Tom Brown's courses. See, one thing you'll be learning about me is when I like something, when I'm interested, if I'm fascinated, I need to understand it. And to me, reading a book just doesn't do it. I gotta get experiential. So I went to Tom Brown's introductory course on sort of survival.
Good stuff. I like it.
In the sense that we look at it, we don't like to call it survival. It's because survival, you against Mother Nature, surviving against that, good luck is all I can say. Because you're not, the way God created this place, Mother Nature is going to win. You can't resist the forces of nature, but how do we become part of it? How do we recognize the patterns and live in harmony with the earth, the animals, the weather patterns, the things? And so I studied with Tom Brown, and that's where I heard stories about Sun Bear. And so then Sun Bear showed up in Palm Beach, Florida. I was living in Fort Lauderdale as a paramedic and firefighter, and took my time off to go travel and do these things. And so I heard about Sun Bear coming to Florida. I went up to hear him talk up in Palm Beach at somebody's house one evening, and at a public thing at a community center or something. And I said right there, okay, I'm going to study with this guy. He said apprentice program. I'm in. Put me in.
Listen, if we even think you owe us money, you won't know what hit you. We'll put liens on everything you own.
And there
Raid
you
your
go.
bank
There's the
accounts,
commercial.
retirement fund, pension. You'll open up your paycheck
love
and
it.
cry because we'll already have the
You're gonna
money.
see a lot
We'll
of these
haul
on
you
our
into federal
shows now
court, and you
because
might even go to jail.
We're going to start
Hey, it's our
monetizing. We
job.
haven't done this.
Don't fight the
Funded
IRS
partner.
alone.
They're-
The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate
I
your
love
tax bill and reduce your stress.
Dennis
Our
will be right
experts
back.
will fight for you
Watch
using
online,
IRS
watch
guidelines
my
to
Mac
stop
email.
any IRS actions
United
like bank levies or